Watch them turn pretty soon and come back towards us, and they're going to time it. The other thing they could be doing if they're not coming back is looking at their angles or where the wind is exactly. As they head up into the wind, that shows them exactly where the wind's coming from. They watch as the boom or that thing underneath Hardesty's name, as soon as it's in the middle of the boat, they look at the bow, they look upwind, they see exactly where the wind's coming from, and that helps them judge if one side of the starting line is favored over the other side. And then they want to time the line. There's actually, we call that the homework. They have lots of homework to do, right, Nikolai? What are some of the things that you do before a start? What's your homework?
Well, it's really important to know which end of the line you want to start, because, I mean, that's easy meters to get before the starting gun. And they want to make sure how far they can go to make the time and distance really precisely. So I guess they're ready now for the starting, so they're getting ready for a good entry. They want to enter as fast as possible. They're allowed to enter at the 4 minutes, so if they enter too early, they get a penalty, but they don't want to be too late because they then get caught at the mark by the other boat. So right now it's all about timing and getting back with full speed in the boat when they cross the line.
That's right. I saw Mandy looking over there. There you go. Give him a big hand. Sherman, that's good energy, everybody. Get them all psyched up. It's the best out of 3, so they have to win 2 races to win this event. Now we've got 25 seconds to go. I hear whistles. And that sounds like a crowd
That's not the
whistle.
umpires. Those are our loyal spectators out here whistling from the crowd. That's great.
15 seconds. And as they dive down towards the starting line, they're going to enter.
Yeah, I want to take us out to our roving reporter, Scotty Dixon, out on the water. Scotty, there's the entry signal. What do you see from your perspective?
Well, Dobbs, we've I just remember we turned up for the morning show this morning and it was blowing hard there, and it just has not relinquished at all. Jury coming on starboard. Here's the first dial-up, and Bill Hardesty taking a very safe and, shall we say, respectful distance to leeward. Both these teams having worked hard to get here. I don't expect to see many mistakes. Quite a lot of separation between the boats. Laurie Jury's been sailing hard, clean and with control all day. Looks like, wow, Hardesty nearly lost his bow on the port there, but interesting, Hardesty sits there head to wind with his main on all the time, and the advantage of that is his bow will never fall off too far. The boats are now backing up. Jury's going backwards at a rate of about 3 knots, and it's just the game of cat and mouse, Dobbs.
Well, thanks for that. We've got Nikolai Sested here. He can give us his perspective on what it's like to go backwards that fast. Nikolai.
I mean, Bill is trying to caught up Jury in a leeward windward situation.
Port starboard now.
Yeah. Now Hardesty has to stay clear. So if he's crossing, he's all right. If not, he's got attack. It looks like he's crossing without a problem.
Wow. That was a pretty good move there, huh, for Bill to get that advanced?
Yeah, that was a good move. He got the separation between the boats, and he was able to tag on port and get clear of Laurie Jury. So he turned the game on, so now he's in the race.
But why is he going head to wind and stopped like this, Nikolai?
The problem is Jury is staying under him, so if he stays there, they'll just continue to the right side of the course, and he cannot get clear of Jury. He has to caught Jury in some way where he can get the control back. As long as Laurie is under him, he still control the race. So Hardy is trying to get Jury away from him so he can control the race by hunting Laurie instead of the other way.
Well, there's 2 minutes to go. Bill Hardesty just slowing the game down by going head to wind. Laurie Jury from New Zealand to windward there, and there goes Bill. Bill might be able to pull this off.
That was a really good move. Now Bill is in control. He's to leeward of Laurie Jury, and he's actually hunting Laurie. So now Bill's got the control of this match. That was a good move from Bill.
So Bill Hardesty taking control. That's a great reversal. Minute and a half to go. I'm going to throw it out to our Scotty Dixon. Scotty, how about that move by Bill to get out there and get in control? Or not. Sorry, we were just trying to get Go ahead, Nikolai.
The game now is who's going to turn back first, and it seems like Laurie Jury is heading back first. So Bill can decide if he want to go back first. He thinks Laurie Jury is too late, or if Laurie Jury is too early to get back to the starting line, Bill's going to hunt him back. depending on the time, Laurie Jury is probably not too late. So I think right now it looks pretty good for Laurie Jury. He got the time and distance really good right here.
So Scotty Dixon, time and distance, not much time left. Who looks good?
Well, Bill Hardesty just did a big luff. I've still got, 30 seconds to go, is it? No, I've still got, 25 seconds to go. Hardesty now to windward. He threw a flag. It looked like it might have been close. So it looks like they're just getting set up for a drag race, both equal distance from the starting line. This will be a drag race off the start. Dobbs, good view for you.
We'll copy that. We'll take it from here since we're on transit to the starting line. Time, Annie, how much do we got?
Just a couple seconds. That's it. There's the start, and boat right on the starting line. And as we see Hardesty to windward, what we've watched today is the boat on the right doing a little bit better. And in match racing, you like to protect the right because the right is the controlling side. You come back on starboard, and we round the marks to starboard as well, starboard being right.
All right, so Bill Hardesty takes, what do you say, Nikolai? Did he win the start?
Well, it's pretty early to say, because if he can stay there for a while, he definitely won the start, because then he got the right side. But if he gets into Laurie Jury's transom, which is bad air from Laurie, he got to tag away, and then Laurie got a really good position. So the next half minute would decide who won that start. But Bill Hardesty looks really good.
Well, we can't see him, but Bill and his team are probably hiked out harder than they've ever hiked before. Yeah. This is the first match of the finals. They've got to live there to windward. The boat to leeward, actually, in this position, has a little bit of an advantage. Hardesty looks like he's living there okay, huh, Nikolai?
To be honest, I think Jury looks pretty strong right now. I think it's a matter of seconds before Bill has to tag away and let Jury go. But if he can stay there for like 20, 30 seconds, he'd be all right. But they're pretty close now.
Well, and then the other issue is Bill has to keep clear of Laurie Jury. Laurie Jury could throw a luff at any moment here and possibly try to get a penalty on Hardesty.
But if Hardesty can stay there, as Nikolai, as we're all watching, if Hardesty can stay there and they can go out to the ley line, Jury can't go anywhere until Hardesty tags. That's a tough place to live, and we're actually all a little bit surprised how long Hardesty's been able to stay right there. Maybe because he's got 5 people, who knows, but there goes Jury doing a little bit of a luff, a slowdown. He's controlling it right now in some ways, but Hardesty's controlling it in others. Nikolai?
Yeah, I think Hardesty got a good situation right now. He can decide
There's the
when to
luff.
go back.
There's the luff.
He's gonna go back now. I think he's on ley line, which means he can sail to the mark without any further attack. So Hardesty looks really strong right now.
Scotty, you ready, mate?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, Scotty Dixon, you were there, very, very close between those two boats. Hardesty able to live there. Just tell us how hard his team was hiking.
We were absolutely astounded. Laurie Jury sailing well. Hardesty, I couldn't believe how long he sat there, but did it effectively, and you can now see why he was just wanting to last every bow length. He is so close to ley line. He thinks he's laying the top mark, and again, his team hiking very hard. When Hardesty tacked away, man, I'm not sure you could have put a bit of paper in between the boats, but not a paperback novel, shall we say. So it was very close. There was a flag from Jury, green flag from the umpires, but nice job by Bill Hardesty, just hanging on by the thinnest of margins. He took a small advantage, and he's just hanging on by the tips of his fingernails. He's still scratching the lay, but I think he'll be okay. But both teams working very, very hard, Dobbs. You okay to stay with me here?
Well, copy that. We're going to just get perspective from Nikolai on what it's like to be in that position.
Well, Bill got around the mark now. He's not able to tag for Laurie, so he's really squeezing the boat to get around the mark without touching the mark. So if he can get around the mark, he's really good, but he's really squeezing it now and pushing it all to the limit.
So, Scotty, what do you see there? Is he able to get around just by inches, eh?
Unbelievable, Dobbs. I mean, Hardesty could not have picked a finer ley line. We had bets, we had dollar bets going both ways on the chase boat as to whether or not he'd make it, and he shot the mark at the end, and he went around with very little boat speed. He was so close to the mark. It was absolutely perfect, I have to say. So great job by Bill Hardesty and his team, just eking out every inch they could. And Laurie Jury, he's less than, 6 or 8 feet. He's worked up on Hardesty's breeze, so they're closing in now. Jury coming on with a head of steam, but let's see if Jury is able to get to leeward of Hardesty. He's putting his bow down now, only inches in it, and we can see right between the boats. Jury overlap now, and very, very close, Dobbs.
Well, that's right. Nikolai, what's it like to be in that position? No spinnakers, but still very tough action downwind, eh?
It's really hard to lead downwind with no spinnakers, because the other boat can go just behind you and steal all your wind. With spinnaker, you need an angle to steal the other boat's wind. So right now, it was pretty tough for Bill, but he got a good situation now. He's closer to the mark, which means he's allowed to have mark room. So Laurie cannot luff him away from the mark, and he got a good gap again. So Bill is still looking really strong.
And he's protected that 2-length zone. He got there first. That's going to give him the space he needs to round the mark. And let's look at this rounding. Beautiful, huh? Good sail trim, nice rate of turn. Unbelievable. Bill Hardesty leading the Kiwis, but only by a couple of meters. And here comes the covering tack. Bill hit a wave there in that tack, though.
Yeah, that was really expensive for Bill. He hit a nasty wave in that tack. So Laurie is a bit faster now. So if he can get the speed going and close the gap, it's going to be a tight race again. But right now, Bill seems like he got the gap between the boats to keep in that lane for a while.
Almost looks like we're in the same situation on port tack as we were on starboard coming off the start here. Bill has to live high here. I might throw it over to Scotty to give us a... Scotty Dixon, you there? What's that separation like?
Less than a boat length in it, Dobbs. And again, Bill Hardesty's team fighting very hard, trying to get over the top of Laurie Jury. I think he's beginning to make forward progress. I would expect to see a tack from Jury here in the next 10 seconds or so. Pretty clear to me, Hardesty slowly going ahead. So there he goes. Here goes Jury now. So we can expect to see a bit of a tacking duel. Jury really needs to keep his options open. And Bill Hardesty electing to just stretch out his tacks and let Laurie Jury do the downspeed maneuvers so that Hardesty can build out a bit of a lead. It's a little over a boat length now, but at least Jury's got separation. I envisage a lot of tacks between now and the top mark, Dobbs.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Scotty. Unbelievable, huh? They just have such higher and faster. I mean, you can't do any better than that. Higher and faster than your opponents.
And Nikolai was just telling me that Bill is really, really good in these conditions. He knows these boats. He was happy to race with him yesterday because it was in lighter winds. Nikolai is grateful for that. But what we're watching is a typical match race. The boat behind, again, trying to separate. So they're engaging in an attacking duel, trying to grind the other team down. It often doesn't work, but it is your only option so that you don't go out to what we saw in the first leg, out to the ley line. Bill has done a fabulous job, and especially in that first leg, hanging in there and dragging him out all the way to the left and dictating when to go back to the mark. And he almost didn't make it, but if he couldn't time it any perfectly, I don't know how he could have timed it any better than that. Maybe one more boat length would have made it easier to get around, but certainly he only had to luff up by just, a boat length or two, Nikolai.
Yeah, that was really close. He couldn't stay there for much longer because Laurie is really pushing him in before, so Bill timed that perfect. He couldn't have stayed there longer, and he rounded the mark without touching it, so he did a really good job on that one.
So Bill Hardesty coming around the top mark for the last time. He's got one leg left into the finish.
And as we saw before, the boat behind is going to attack. Nikolai said, without the spinnakers, the main is easy to blanket. So with this close of a race, anything can happen. And just now, we saw a boat, whoa, 2 tacks.
Yeah, 2 tacks.
Yeah.
That really hurt Laurie Jury. Those downspeed tacks like that are just killer. Look at this gap now. I was hoping to have another close leg so we could put the umpires of the match on and listen to the very, very close separation between them, but I don't know that it's going to happen now.
No, I think this race is pretty close to be over for Laurie Jury. Those 2 tacks with slow speed was really hard for him.
Well, so Bill Hardesty and his team, boat number 6, now with just half a leg left, coming down to the finish of the first match. It's a 1st to 2-point finals here. If things go as they look right now, Laurie Jury will be up against the ropes for the next match. So, Nikolai, I know you've been both in front and behind. Tell us a little bit about the emotions on board right now.
Well, it's all about keeping the boat really calm and make sure you got the game going for the next race as well. In these conditions, everything can happen. We saw that earlier today. So keep the boat calm and make ready for another race. You cannot think you're too strong too early. You got to sail the boat.
Would you come out of this next race super aggressive, knowing you only have one more chance, to stay in, or would you be conservative if you were the boat that did not have a point?
If I were Laurie Jury right now, I think I'd be a bit more aggressive in the pre-starts, because when Bill got that speed in his boat, it's really hard to just sail away from him. So if I was Laurie, I'd be really aggressive now and see if I can get a penalty on Bill before they have to do the race through.
So there it is, Bill Hardesty crossing the finish line. There's the blue flag. Bill Hardesty goes up by 1 point in the finals here at the Grade 2 Invitational. So, and crossing the finish now, Laurie Jury. He's got to win this next match to stay alive. As Nikolai just said, they're going to be calm, cool, and collected. They're a polished team, a young team from New Zealand, but they've been traveling the world. And like Nikolai, they're going to do the next 4 events in the U.S. Grand Slam. So this is just a battle and a long war.
That's right, and they're going to change sides now. So the yellow flag that was on Laurie Jury's boat will be a blue flag. They'll enter from our side on the port side, and Bill Hardesty and team will enter from the starboard side. They're not going to give them much break. I mean, unless they have a breakdown, which they don't, they're just going to give them a couple minutes to regroup. They don't have to pack the spinnaker. All they have to do is regroup, get the race committee all in line. It looks like they're not going to move any marks as far as we can say. As we pointed out, the wind has been super steady in direction. They even removed the other options for windward marks, and we're going to stand by and look for that 7-minute. But Nikolai, what would you be doing in between races now besides debriefing each other? You know, what goes on board right now? And you could include the debriefing. What would you be talking about?
Well, first of all, it's really important to find out how they should sail the next race. I mean, what they have to focus on, what they did good and what they did bad. And then after that, they need to get some food and some drinks to get the body going. And I think they're going to be into the sequence really soon, so they don't have that much time. But if they had time for it, it's really good to check the line again, see which end of the line is favorite, and do some time and distance call again. That's really good if they had time for it. Otherwise, just focus on the good and the bad things and make sure you don't do the same mistakes one more time.
Well, eyeballing these flags up above us and looking at the starting line, the angles, just checking it out, do you think the line's pretty square? In other words, perpendicular to the wind?
Yeah, when I'm looking at the starboard boat flag, the orange one, I think it looked like the little bit pin in favor, which means the left side of the line is a little bit favored, but the strong side is, or the right side is really strong, as we saw that with Bill. So it's a game between winning the pin end, the left side of the line, and getting the right side of the course. So I would say that the right side is still strong if you can stay in the right side all the way up.
So if you were going to start next, you'd be fighting for the right?
If I can get some separations, as we saw with Bill, so I can live all the way out to the ley line, yeah, I will fight for the right. But if not, I think the left side looks really good on the starting line.
And to fight for the right, do you want to push back to the start?
Yeah, it's probably good to push back in this wind. It's hard to get the right-hand side when you're leading back. So I think I'll be pushing back to get for the right side.
And that's been working. We've been watching that. That was Hardesty pushing back to the starting line on this last one. So what they do is they have about 2 minutes to go, and they're only 1 minute from the line, and they're pushing the other boat, trying to get them over early and jockeying back, swinging down and up, and we see a lot of that going on, and they're just checking and making sure that they have an overlap or don't have an overlap with the wing boat there calling it all the time, right?
Yeah, it's all about time and distance. If the leading boat is too early, it's pretty good to be pushing and make sure that you get the right side of the starting line. But if the leading boat has a really good timing, you're in trouble if you're pushing back, because then you're going to be late. Because the leading boat can easily burn some time by doing all the circles we saw and the ups and downs with the boat. So it's all about the time and distance, which boat goes in first and got the best timing.
Well, so with 20 knots of breeze, maybe every now and again 25 knots of breeze, what would be a good time to be heading back for the line if, like, you were, let's say, you're a minute to the line if you were going full speed? Would you push back at 2, or what would be a good time to head back?
In this breeze, if I were leading boat, I'd probably go back in 1 minute and 30 seconds, 40 seconds maybe. If I go back at 2 minutes, I'm going to be early for sure in this breeze. So I will delay it a little bit in this breeze and then head back like 1.5 minutes if there's 1 minute of full speed sailing.
Okay, we got Dobbs back here on the table here, and we have Scotty Dixon that just did a little flyby. He's out on the protector that has the yellow flag sort of curled up in front below the starting line with a white cover on it. And just really quick, we're going to go through our sponsor list. Dobbs, you want to run through that with us?
Will do.
Stand by for 7, but I'll get it.
Yeah, we got a few minutes to recognize the sponsors of the Chicago Match Race Center. The strategic partners of Eurex Group. They bring safety, efficiency, and diversity to derivatives.
7 minutes.
Boat sponsors include the CME Group, where the world comes to manage risk. We've got New Edge, a leader in the world of brokerage, who is the Chicago Match Race Center's newest sponsor, and the apparel sponsor of Line Honors Performance Sailing Supply, your source for the finest yachting apparel and hardware. And the Chicago Match Race Center's hotel partner is the Majestic Hotel, Chicago's preeminent boutique hotel. We also would like to say that we have going to have a Grade 1 event out here at the end of September. Same venue, same place, and in fact, some of the same teams. The winner of this event will get an invitation to the Grade 1. The Grade 1 will feature $65,000 in prize money, so it's a much bigger event in those terms. But we'll have international teams, great exposure, and for anyone wanting to be involved, and particularly anyone wanting to get exposure as a sponsor, this could be an excellent opportunity. So we urge you to come and check us out. Check out the website, chicagomatchrace.com or chicagocup.org. Annie, where are we on timing?
Well, we had a 7-minute flag go up, the F flag, but what's happened now is they put the cat in the hat flag, as I like to call it, the postponement flag, and there is 7 minutes. There's the new starting time. We've got our watch keeper up here, Eric, helping me out, and we have 7 minutes. So now I'm not sure what the delay was, other than maybe somebody wasn't quite ready, but here we go. We're rolling into the second race of the finals here for the Chicago Match Race event, and it's a Grade 2 Invitational, like Dobbs said, an international group and an international finals. We have Lori Jury on boat number 2 with the blue flag flying off the back of his boat, and Bill Hardesty from San Diego, USA on boat number 6, backing down, getting the weed off his rudder and off of his keel, the 2 appendages that are below the waterline. We can't see them, but those are the things that keep the boat from tipping over and from actually moving forward when the sails fill with wind. The sails are reduced in area. The main sail, that's the big sail in the back, it's been reefed, it's been brought down a little bit, and they've reduced the sail because it's so windy. They don't need all that sail area to go fast. In fact, it would slow them down if they had too much sail area. The other thing we've found is they've taken the spinnakers out of the equation. There are no spinnakers, no colorful sails to sail downwind, they don't need those as well. But as Nikolai pointed out, without the spinnaker, the boat from behind has a better chance to attack if they're close enough. We've got about 30 seconds to a 5 minute, and it's about the 4 minute gun that counts, or the 4 minute horn. It's all about the 4 minute and entering on time. So we've got 1 minute and 20 until they enter. Nikolai, what do you see out here?
Well, right now they're just checking the line and getting ready. I think they're ready about the line and know where they want to start, and the plan is set. So I think they're just waiting, and I think both boats are back down, so the keel is clear from both boats. So I think now it's just waiting 1 minute, and then they're gonna enter.
Okay, so 1 minute to enter for race number 2 of the finals. It's the best out of 3. So this is a do or die situation for Laurie Jury from New Zealand, and he's going to come out aggressive. If he's going for blood here, it's really, really important that he's aggressive, and if he can get the start, if he can win the start and stay ahead, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to draw a penalty on Hardesty. But Hardesty has been super aggressive, even when he didn't need to be. In some of the round robins, he was the most aggressive sailor out there. In fact, getting a black flag in one incident. Was that against you? No. Okay, not against you. Okay, we
Black
have 10
Flag Billy.
seconds. We call him Black Flag Billy this weekend. We got about 5 seconds to go before they enter, and it's all about getting there on time. Another time and distance feat right here. There's code flag red Charlie. That means they're going to go around the top mark. Is red mark. Here they go for the dial-up. Nikolai.
Yeah, now it's about getting the good dial up where you can stay for a while. Laurie Jury is gonna try to stay in the wind, maybe, so they can start going backwards. And if he can get to Bill Hardesty from there where he is right now, it's gonna be on Bill. So Bill's gonna keep clear and stay away from Laurie Jury right now. So what they're doing right now is they're backing the front sail of the boat to keep the boat in the wind. If the boat get out of the wind, they're gonna start sailing forwards. So both now they got out of the wind and Bill is leading out. So Laurie Jury is trying to get behind Bill and get the control back. But Bill did a really good job of just keeping the boat slow and force Laurie to go back up again. Good job from Bill there.
Yeah, there was
we've
quite.
got, I was going to throw out to our roving reporter, Scotty Dixon, out there in the Protector. Scotty, how's it look from the pre-start?
Bit of cat and mouse again. I thought Laurie Jury had done a good job of getting out of jail, but he's done okay now. He's created a bit more room for himself. There's an imminent situation coming up at support starboard. Jury's got his helm down, and Hardesty gives him enough room to keep clear, and no problems there. I would say that's a green flag. Jury barely fighting for steerage. So Hardesty going after him a little too early. So I don't think Hardesty even threw the flag there, just because he knew that in that situation, if you go after a boat that has no steerage, the umpires are never going to find in your favour for the penalty. So it's both boats on board now with about 2 minutes to go. Still blowing hard here. Beautiful blue sky. The waves crashing over the breakwall. And Jury doesn't really like where Hardesty is, and he has to be very careful here. So very down speed game, 1:45 to go now, and yeah, Jury he's been fighting to get off the hook the whole time. We've got another port starboard coming together now. Jury has to keep clear, and he does so, and Hardesty staying well to windward. So Hardesty's still in control. 1:25 to go now,
We'll use them in the press
and
conference.
Hardesty's going to start pushing. Yeah, so Jury able to tack away. That's a good move. He'll force Hardesty to pick a side here, and the umpire boat has to wheel out of the way. But Jury in a bit of trouble. He's now able to bear away. I don't know if he's got time to jive and get back to the line.
Hardesty's just killing him out there. Nikolai, we're watching this, and Hardesty is come out of the box yesterday aggressive, and today when it really counts, he has just risen to the occasion. He and his team, we all know it takes more than one person to pull this boat around the course, but he is just absolutely in control. Nikolai?
Yeah, him and his team did a really good job of just keeping the boat in good speed all the time. So they can keep pushing Laurie Jury with good speed in the boat, while Laurie is pretty slow all the time in his maneuvers. But it seems like Laurie got the speed back in the boat, and he can just follow Bill back to the starting line. There's no doubt that Bill is going to win this start. He can decide when he want to and go in and start. So that's a good start for Bill.
And they're actually overstood on the ley line for the committee boat. So there goes Hardesty reaching down. There's only 6 seconds to the start. And he's going to try to shut him out at the starting line. There he goes. There's room enough for both. And Jury has the right. And as we've seen in the past, winning the right is a good thing to have. So Hardesty in control, but giving away the right. I'm not sure why he would have done that, Nikolai. Anything you saw that you can give an explanation for?
It's really hard to burn a lot of time in this breeze. I mean, the boat is going so fast, so it was probably too hard for Bill to kill all the time and shut Laurie Jury out. But what he's doing now is he's squeezing the boat against the wind so he can force Jury to tag out. But it seems like Jury is going really fast and actually doing a good job staying there. So this could be a rematch from last time with just switch positions, and Laurie's going to stay there all the way to the ley line and probably going to round the top mark first if he can stay in that lane.
Yeah, we'll see if Jury can do what Hardesty did, and that was just go all the way to the left, hang there tight. As long as Jury can live there, there's no way Hardesty can tack and go towards the red mark. So it's, as Nikolai just pointed out, it looks like a rerun, but it's all about Jury being able to hang there, and he's doing a great job. In fact, this is an easier hang job than Hardesty had.
Yeah, Scotty Dixon, you're there almost up in the breach and the protector. How much distance is between them? Is Jury going to be able to live there?
Well, we're actually changing perspective on the protector right now. It's less than a boat length, but the question we've been asking ourselves is, can Bill Hardesty prevent himself from being rolled? Laurie Jury, trimmed hard, sailing fast. The boats are bow to bow from our perspective. Laurie Jury over a boat length to windward, and he's just sailing straight over the top, Dobbs. So I don't know if Hardesty's picked up some of that lake wheat. He's looking over the side of the boat now. Hardesty thinks he's got something, and certainly his lack of boat speed would indicate something's not quite right. So lead change, and Laurie Jury firmly in control, Dobbs.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, I wonder if that's happened. Maybe that lack of boat speed having picked up some weed. Any possibility of that? Or is that just a psychological thing, Nikolai?
I mean, it can happen. There's a lot of weed in the water right now, so for sure it can happen. But I think both boats are really fast, and it seems like it's just a little better start from Laurie Jury and a really good job of keeping his track all the way out to the ley line. They're probably past ley line right now. Laurie Jury is deciding when they want to go back, and he was making sure that he can make the mark easily without any problems, except last time Bill was pretty squeezed around.
Well, and then we've got the downwind leg coming up where the guy behind has an opportunity. So, there's quite a big gap here now. Laurie Jury in control of this match in its first phases, but on board Bill Hardesty's boat, what are they thinking?
They're probably thinking keeping this game really close and see if they can keep the gap as small as possible and then get to the downwind leg where they can steal Laurie Jury's win. So if they're able to just keep one boat length separation between them, they're going to have a good chance of getting a tight match on the first downwind leg here.
Well, that and not having any unforced errors, like, sorry to mention, mate, but you had one earlier in the day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got caught in the top mark earlier today, so we actually had 2 penalties for touching the mark, and Bill definitely does not need that right now. So he's just gonna make a good rounding and get the boat in top speed really fast and close the game.
All right, so go ahead, Annie.
He didn't touch the mark. He moved the mark. Nikolai dragged the